Sagittarius. Your message was really clear. So I guess what I'm really thinking of is like what to talk to you about or what scenario to set up to really help you understand exactly what the energies are. The energies are pretty clear. And I wanted to laugh, but it was obnoxious because I was like, what is wrong with you, Michelle? You don't fucking laugh. There is going to be some painful shit happening to you this week. But it's good pain. I know that sounds really fucked up, right? What's wrong with me? Well, for those of y'all with significant Scorpio placements, you'll be all right. I'm just kidding. It's good pain in that basically it's self-induced. It's trial and error, and it's fire sign Sagittarius specific trial and error. I'm just gonna walk in and do. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna show up and see I'm here, and that's it. And it's like being in that moment and only thinking of the next step, and no, not realizing just what a bind you can get yourself into and how much trouble you can like drum up in maybe even just a minute and a half, right? But that's kind of what it is. But the reason that this is happening is because 6 planets by the end of this week will be in Aquarius. And Aquarius really teaches us in the way that we need to learn. It talks to us in the way that we can comprehend. The only way that we're going to really have that aha moment is if it's on a plane that we can understand. But it's almost like using what we understand to make us realize what was like right in front of us the whole time, but we just couldn't see it. And the only way to do that sometimes is to smack you over the head and make you do a double take. And it's in that double take that you get and you realize something that is just necessary for your life and for your happiness. And I think that's even more important right now. So ultimately, there's just action here. In other words, you are going to be aiming. It's almost like pretend you're a master archer because you're a Sagittarius. Get it? Pretend you're a master archer. I know. Bear with me, please. And ultimately, you're aiming at the target, right? The traditional target. And whatever your traditional target is, that's where you're aiming. But you end up like getting distracted or something happens and your arrow flies off, and it, traditionally speaking, you just lost the competition. But it ends up landing in, I don't know, this field somewhere where there's like an oil well buried. And now all of a sudden it's like you decide to buy that piece of property and you find out the oil well's there. What I'm saying is this mishap that's going to be painful, not really painful, maybe probably embarrassing, right? Is actually what's going to be the thing that redirects you to what you need to be taking action on. And it never would have happened if you didn't go through that incident of embarrassment or perceived failure. And it's not really failure. So, okay, what is going to happen? What is the stuff that's going on? And what can I prepare myself for? It's definitely got to do with something with physicality. Could even have to do with something with your health, right? This situation where you never would have even been interested in this topic. How was he? Or thinking about this you would never have even considered doing this thing. And when I'm talking about a thing, I think it's an activity. That's what it's coming to me as. It's like your intention was to go dancing that night, not go scooter racing. But the dance hall was filled and you feel like your date is ruined, but then you take them like right next door to, scooter racing, and it becomes like what you become an Olympic champion at. Like that's the scenario that's going to happen. And I laughed and I sat back and I found myself like laughing and be like, Sagittarius is the only one on earth that could actually pull this shit off because of this personality that you have, that you you're going to make things work. You're going to make things work and you're going to live in that moment. But the thing is, before that moment, there will be real bad, harsh contradictions and anger. Could be a lot of just being really pissed off and not necessarily frustrated at somebody else, though I think that that's part of it, being very frustrated at somebody, but also being frustrated at yourself and maybe taking some of those emotions and throwing them onto somebody else, which could also cause some kind of distraction and chaos and craziness, especially when it comes to communication. Just things being off, or maybe even miscommunication. It's like meeting somebody somewhere, thinking that you're supposed to go somewhere, and ultimately you end up there, but it wasn't. Because remember, Mercury's still in retrograde too. But in other words, all this miscommunication is for our higher good, to bring out almost like those bubbles of sickness or anger or pissed offness inside of us, to make them pop in a place where it's just soda. It's not our bloodstream. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like really lucky that it popped out over here and not over here, because it could have been a lot uglier, it could have been a lot worse, and it could have caused a lot more suffering. So if just the embarrassment is all you have to deal with right now, you're not going to consider yourself lucky at first. I don't feel like you'll consider yourself lucky right now, but looking at it from afar, I know that you're going to be very, very lucky. Now, how is this all going down? Well, definitely specifics I will get into in tarot. And romantic, I'm not getting big romantic vibes right now, so we're going to dig deep into the romance reading. That link is down below. You can go to it whenever you really want to. There's an extended for every one of your videos. But ultimately, I think that this vibration right here is really not, it's more getting really frustrated and really angry that something you decided on didn't end up the way that you decided it to be. But ultimately, there's so many doors that are opening up for you because of this misstep. And it's something that you actually needed, because what this energy right now is trying to do is align you with your greatest joy. And your greatest joy is actually not where you set your intentions. Where you set your intentions was what you thought you wanted. It was your comfort zone. And remember, the South Node is in Sagittarius right now. So we're comfortable with what we've always done, right? This is like getting comfortable with the things that make you uncomfortable, because you just want change. You want to switch. You want to do something different, but not necessarily knowing what to do that's different, or what it is that's going to give you the satisfaction that you're looking for. So ultimately, I know you can see my ugly finger. I know, it's so wonky and gross. It got injured and now it's just trying to heal. So it's the only one that's not painted. But I know my eyes keep drawing to it because it just looks so lame. I know. I digress. Stupid me. And ultimately what I was going to say is, I really do feel like this is action. I feel like it's something physical, like something that you never really realized that you would be really good at and really love. But it's that, getting involved in that thing that you never realized you really love, that's actually going to heal something that is deeper. This is almost like the bubbles at the top of the soda just going off, but there's still a shakeup in the bottle itself. There's still potential for it to explode. So this is almost like, it's like a mini alarm before the big alarm. But because the mini alarm went off, you went and checked on this, and it's irritating and it pisses you off and you have to change your schedule. But ultimately then you end up getting yourself involved in something that ends up saving you. So that's the luck. The luck is disguised now as redirection. It's disguised now as irritation, or it's disguised by irritation. The luck is disguised right now, but it's just so important. It's almost like feeling unlucky, being unlucky, getting unlucky, dealing with unluck or unrest. And this is how I know that this is how definitely you're going to feel right now. It's just unlucky and stuck, or unlucky in that, you feel like you're being forced into a situation that you really hate. Really, you're being forced into a direction that's leading you to something that you're going to really love. You just would have never gone down that path if you did not get pushed out of your comfort zone. This is intention. So it all starts off with something that you did, a decision that you made for your greater good, or for what you thought was your greater good, a decision that you made and you were going to stick with, or you were intent on it, right? There's intention behind it. But look, have faith in your dreams because you wanted to invest. In other words, you may not know what you really want until this week. That's the kind of level of clarity that this week can provide you. Have faith in your dreams, which means, right, you're on that path, on that trajectory. But it's almost like, what are your dreams telling you? What are your dreams? When you dream, what do you feel? That's the most important thing now, is when you dream, what does it make you feel? What does it make you realize and experience about the world? Because that's the truth, not what you're dreaming, if that makes sense. Because nothing will come of this situation. And it's a good thing and a bad thing. Because it's almost like being locked out of your car before it explodes. You know, that's kind of what it is. It's like you think you want it and you're going gung-ho toward it, and then all of a sudden it's like, no. You get hit with a no. You get hit with a redirection. You can't do this. You got to go over here. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Really angry, really pissed. A fiery climax approaches, anger, outburst. You know, and just batting heads with something or somebody because it's really ultimately makes you mad, or it makes you feel embarrassed. It makes you feel diminished in some way. And so you're defending yourself. But it's leading you to a realization that you really needed to have. And I don't see you going about this alone. See the light. It's through this disappointment that something very important is revealed. Now we're going to get deeper into what very important is, but detox comes up. So it could very well have something to do with something you've been doing that's extremely unhealthy for you. This could be physical unhealth, 12-12. There's some sort of divine counterpart at foot here, Sagittarius. Yeah. So this is detox. You didn't want to face this. I'm telling you, this was a hard-headedness. This was a situation or something that you do. It's action. I can't stress that enough. It's action. It's something that you do that was toxic for you. And I don't think that what happens to you has something to do with this action that was toxic for you. But I think what happens makes you have to change this habit that you had that was toxic for you. And ultimately, it's really going to throw you off. It's really going to piss you off. And it's going to require you to get spiritual real quick. Like, talk to Jesus, see God. Talk to God. Because at some point, you might feel like that's the only motherfucker that's listening. Or you just might have to pray. Like, pray for me. And other people could be praying for you. And lo and behold, it's almost like an awakening of realizing that it's not just one person, but it's a lot of people that have been worried about you. It's a lot of people that kind of been watching yourself kind of behave or do this and then not get anywhere or hurt yourself even more. And ultimately, it's down this path, this horrible like thing that you're feeling is being ripped away from you unjustly, that you feel so disoriented by and unlucky, right? That ultimately you get led to a behavior that is something that you never thought that you could do. It's something that you maybe never had much interest in. You could have even made fun of it. I could see you guys actually making fun of it. Like what kind of asshole does things like that, etc., etc. But this becomes a focal point. Almost like you're the medicine in and of itself, because it's a place to put your mind. Yeah. And allow your mind to like not feel so hurt or feel so angry. So it's a mental relief from the stress, but it's also a physical relief from a stress. So this is definitely getting yourself involved in something that ends up becoming a gateway into a better version of you that you were kind of ignoring or doing without, because you just keep moving forward. But remember, Mercury is in retrograde, so there's something you left behind. And it's very difficult. Like all fire signs, when asked to look backward, like get really pissed because it's just not their mentality. It's not where your attention is. But ultimately it is where your answer is. So collaborate. This is working together, finding people to do something to work together with. I heard this, like, other bitches getting in your business, right? No. It's finding a group of people, or finding it's almost like finding a class filled with people. I could just see you making fun of them now, but it becomes something that's so much better for you. A place that I guess you didn't even think that you knew, or people that you didn't even realize you belonged to. And it will take some adjustments to get used to them. But ultimately, you're going to be led there just because you have no other place to go. You know, this improvise is right. It's like, this is such Sagittarius energy. It's just like being in the moment. Which way do I go? How do I direct my energy? My energy's got to go somewhere. And your energy is going to be led down this path. If you like, this is just general reading so far, but if you really like it, please stay around for your animal totem readings. We're going to go into the messages that are going to be sent and how you can expect them delivered. And then we're going to go into your angel messages, which are messages directly from angels to clarify everything. And then, of course, there's the extended tarot, where I ask, what are the challenges? What are the blockages? And how the hell do we get past them? And what's the future? And those are very specific answers. That link is down below, and that's 2 readings in one, because it also includes your romance specific reading. So I do hope to see you over there. Now, let's get into your animal totem cards. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. Like this video, share on your social media platforms if you're real crazy about it. And then click that link, subscribe below, and ring that bell, hit all notifications so that you know when I upload. I upload between 12 and 14 videos every single week. And you know, you don't just watch your sun sign, you watch your moon sign, your rising sign. They're all represented. Timeless messages that come out fresh once a week. And then join me on Instagram, because I go live there Monday through Friday, and I do a daily tarot card reading where we can interact. And that's born_without_boundaries. And I hope that you will join us there. I'm sorry, us is just me, FYI. So co-create with spirit. Wow, this is way, way off. It's almost like somehow you shoved spirit. So spirit got so deprioritized that it's going to feel like it's hurting when it comes back in. It's also, you know, sometimes we perceive Raven as bad luck, but this is why Raven shows up and feels like bad luck now, because ultimately it was just standing. It was over there. We could feel it was happening. And you kept thinking, oh, I can get over this. I can ignore it. And the truth is, this is an energy that couldn't be ignored. Watch your words is in reverse. So, and I saw this too. It's like somebody flying off the handle at their mouth, because so many planets right now are in Aquarius, but for you, they're in your 3rd house, which is house of communications and one-on-one communications. So shit's just coming out of your mouth without you thinking about it. And ultimately, that's going to be the seed or the root of the trouble or the problem or the catalyst of the explosion that starts to happen. FYI. And then we have take the lead. So this is you being tapped to be your greater self. And whatever spirit has to do to get to your wiser self, your larger self, your higher purpose, that's what spirit's going to do. And ultimately, a lot of times when that happens, we feel like it's a tower moment, which is what I warned you in the beginning of the reading, that this could feel like a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. But it's not, because it's not going to be permanent. It's not going to be something that's going to kill you or ruin your life, but it's going to feel like you're being assaulted or affronted, or it's going to feel like you're being attacked or degraded in a lot of ways. But the truth is, spirit is just like tearing you down to build you back up again, because it was calling and calling and calling and you kept ignoring it. And that's kind of like how the tower happens. Life is speeding up, moving very quickly. Things are coming together. So as soon as in other words, things aren't going to be unraveling for long. They're not going to feel like the unraveling is going to feel intense, Sagittarius, but it is not going to last long. You will soon understand why all of this had to fall apart. in order for things to come together in the right way. And then last but not least, we have the miracles are endless. And I mean, this is abundance. It's just literally like somebody higher up than you. You could say the gods, but you could also sort of use this as a metaphor for, this is money coming through, money coming to you. And maybe you didn't kind of like understand that at first, but it may not be even money, just abundance and being selected, being chosen. But you, in other words, you have to be in the right place to be selected. And nobody would have gotten you to that right place without kicking you in your ass and getting you out of your comfort zone, because that's what this week is about, getting people out of their comfort zones. And I think it's because Sagittarius is the South Node right now that it's going to feel like the most torturous to you to get you out of your comfort zone, because so much is happening in your third house, which is ruled by Gemini. And your third house is a direct opposite from your natural house, which you rule, which is the ninth house. You know, it's all about having to sit and having to focus and think about the little things and the fucking details. And it's going to irritate the living crap out of you, Sag. But ultimately, it's in those details that people are, I think it's not necessarily, it's people nitpicking you, because you can pick up on a lot of details just fine. But the thing is, people are nitpicking you. And that's what's really fucking getting to you. You know, it's almost like a taste of your own medicine in a way. Act as if. This is weird, but this is telling me that the blessings are hidden right now. It's kind of like sitting there watching and waiting, and it's slowly revealing itself over time. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's get into your angel card readings. Chameleon is really interesting because I didn't expect him to show up here. I feel like Chameleon's going to show up in other words, this is a disguised blessing. It's not going to show up. You're not going to see it for what it is, but it's not all of a sudden like it'll morph into something that it's not. It's all of a sudden in other words, you will eventually recognize that this was here all along, that these blessings were actually here all along. They were just, this was the truth. I feel like this is being some sort of truth revealed. Some sort of truth that could really hurt you at first, but then almost like answer a lot of questions and close up a lot of gaps that were left somewhere in your mind. Let's get into the angel messages. Oh my God, I feel weird. I do, Sag. I feel off today. And so it's just impacting my communications, my ability to communicate. Mindfulness. Be mindful of another's feelings and needs. Someone needs your love right now. A loving thought is all it takes. This is like being balls against the wall, being hard pressed to be kind. But it's like, mindfulness is the name of the game right now. That could alleviate a lot of your suffering. Heart song. What is your heart saying? Stop and listen. Your truth lies within the empty spaces between your thoughts. Your truth shines through from within your soul. Your truth is that which is eternal and unchanging. Your truth is love. Middle path. Embrace both sides. The middle path is the road to a balanced and more peaceful life. I'm trying to put this together because I see it as a scenario of seeing things from another person's perspective. And this week is all about switching your perspective to be able to see things and be able to deal with something. So it's almost like from your perspective, you're angry and you're pissed and you can't forgive. But if you would put yourself into a different perspective, especially their perspective, like almost like doing something that you'd never do. All of a sudden something starts to become really clear to you, and most importantly, it's this feeling of lightening up your load, of not feeling so angry or stuck in bitterness right now. Archangel Uriel, a great spiritual transformation is currently occurring both in your life and in our world. This is the union of heaven and earth, spirit and matter, heart and mind unite in harmonious balance. Archangel Uriel, that's the person to pray to or direct your prayers to, Sagittarius, when you're confused right now. I agree. So I'm confused too. We're definitely going to tarot to clarify everything. Surrender. There is no point in pushing the barrel up such a steep hill. Go back to the start. Surrender your expectations. There is an easier way. When the time is right, a new path will appear. And it's this new path that you're being forced to by your fucking like weird wheelbarrow being turned over and pushed back down the hill. And you're going to be so pissed. But the truth is that just wasn't the right way to do things. It wasn't really going to make you as successful as you thought it was. So let's go into Tarot, Sag, and let's see what's going to be revealed. I'll talk to you guys there. See you.